tension, you know. And my brother is he's very much like that, because he's always like, you know, he plays basketball a lot, where he's like, you know, on your toes and stuff like that. And I can feel it, like once he calms up,
yeah, you can time that.
then boom, you know, it's easy. But it's hard to stay planted like that and relax, because like once you get that tension, shoulders start calming up, and then.
Well, you just felt like a rock going down.
Just like that's all it is.
Yeah.
Making
And there's nothing up here. There's nothing up here. That's it. I think that's it. Is you're getting it, but as the pressure comes on, you start to fight it.
They get under you and lift you a little bit. Okay.
I like that move yesterday. That was a long one. When I got home, I was showing Amy, and I was like, wait a second. How did that go again? She's like, I hope nobody tries this on you. I'm like, wait. Because I'm like, go ahead and push me. And she's like, I'm like, no, go coach, easy. That was fun. There you go. Yep, right there. I can feel that a lot difference. So much more right there. From here.
Now, the minute you pushed hard, I could feel my shoulders drop.
Yeah.
Go opposite.
Yeah, that's where you want it right there.
And that may just be the limitations of what we can do. A simple
I
posture.
also feel,
Not using your hands.
I also feel that when I started fighting,
Hello, Sifu.
the edge of my foot went out.
Cup of tea for you.
And I lost the
I'll trade you for a homemade bottle of wine.
That's what my balance went.
Part of that, I think, too, is like you want to take a step back. You're thinking, taking a step.
Yeah, this is a severely limited thing,
That's what I'm thinking.
but if you understand that, it's something that you can build on.
So the
A
fact
lot of
that,
times
like,
people will just lean or tighten or step or turn, which are all fine things to do, but you don't explore other things that you can do, you know? So it's a little bit like if you have a, you know, like a gas mask in your house and there's a fire, so you run outside because you're supposed to go outside if there's a fire. It's like, well, in my case, I have this other option. I could put the gas mask on and then go find a cat or something like that, instead of just the basic idea of leave the house, it's on fire, call the police, or the fire department, right? So it's just, oh, okay, well, I have that. It's not supposed to be if you're getting decked in an alley, just do this, you know, but it's that one thing to feel. And if you can feel it, then you begin to trust it. It's a felt experience, and then that's something that you can really build on later.
so the fact that he's pushing on me, and so I can feel that going.
Right now, you're roostering a
A
little.
little bit.
You're a little bit initially there. Often that happens because the person pushing just gives more than you're ready for.
Okay.
So you
And
need
so
to
that's
have a
basically-
balance in all of these practices of what are we trying to do and how do I get you to help me get it? And then you have to, obviously yours is all the other kung fu of actually doing it, you know. But if it's just like, here's the thing, what you should, I'm gonna just show you how to do this cool block if you ever get a punch. Okay, well, I'm not really helping them learn that. I might do it like, here's it, or notice when I telegraph and I want you to, like, I don't just, well, come on, man, I showed you once, you know. So, and that's a ridiculous version, but it happens all the time. People just, here you go. Okay, well, I'm not gonna get better at this the way you're working with me. And that doesn't mean you're a bad guy, or so your job is to create the partner you need. And you both need to understand what the purpose of any given exercise is. But here's what we're trying to achieve. This is really easy these days on online, YouTube or something, to just like, well, that would never work. That's a stupid drill. That, you know, that's not how you block. You're like, well, did we hear the teacher teach the whole thing? There might be a very specific reason they're doing this thing. They're just trying to get the shoulder loose. Nothing, or whatever. Like, but it's so easy to look at it like, that's bad footwork.
That would never work.
Yeah, well, you don't know what they're doing. It could be part of a whole thing, you know, so.
So the
Going back to
question is it, were we doing something incorrectly, or is it the limit of just doing this?
Well, I gave you the first incorrectly was the roostering. So
Right.
let's see again.
Okay.
Let's see.
I think that's pretty much
Right.
what the
See,
issue.
even right there, as soon as you
Gravity
came
forward.
in, you shifted your toes a little. This should be fully left, fully rear, left weighted, rear leg.
No, I just went on my heels.
Yeah, I see.
And that's okay, he might literally push you to your heels, you know.
So that, but that's just the limitations of this,
Could be,
or
yeah,
is
he
it-
might have gone past
Right.
that. He might also decide that he can feel when you go on your heels, he's just gonna push enough that you stay centered, and then let you feel what you can handle with this.
Okay.
Remember, the practice wasn't do this, and then go more and more and more and more,
Right.
go till failure. I just said do this. But it's so easy to say, oh, you got that, here's more.
Right, but that was our experience, was,
Right.
you know, either we were doing the rooster thing, or it was like, okay, it works, oh, no, it doesn't. So
Right,
it
and
was
that
a-
may be the limit of how much it works or how good you're at it. The only way to do that is to design the thing so that you have a chance to get better at it. And then we'll see
what
where
it
the
is.
limits vary, the limits of physics, the limits of this move, the limits of you. But if we don't give you a chance to shine,
Feel it.
then we don't know. We could surmise. Right. So it'd be like, hey, really good. That first time with a BB gun, you hit the target. Here's a 44. Where, okay, well, that, you know, that's not how it should work. This is, you picture this 6-year-old, look, so pretty, you go, like, okay, that's a little bit much. So you want to like do the BB a lot. Then don't keep moving the target. Just like the same target, the same thing, until it's a consistent thing and you understand the limits of that. And once you understand them, then you can decide, I'd like other limits. Let's do it on horseback, let's do, you know, whatever you do.
I feel a lot of times, like in the initial, what's happening in my body is like it's starting here, it's starting to clench when I feel
Mhm.
this coming.
Mhm.
Like I'm clenching here, my pelvis starts to push out a little bit.
Mhm.
Like I'm starting to squeeze a little bit, like I'm not relaxing here. And that's where a lot of, for me, it feels like the tension is starting to build from right here. So once I start putting my hips up, like my foot's starting to raise up a tiny bit.
Mhm.
So I go like this, and then from there, all of a sudden, like my whole structure's out of whack. But it's hard.
So
need
that
to stop
sounds like
clenching
what
there.
you're doing is you're taking what you hear, like from me, which is you relax, breathe, you know, breathe down here, settle, soften up the arms, and you're coalescing that tension in the lower body. So in a sense, you're doing what I asked, you're relaxing this, but you're not really releasing the tension,
Down
you're
all the
shifting
way.
it.
Yeah, I'm shifting it.
Or
Yeah.
making it dense in one place.
Mhm.
And there's only one known solution to that. You just practice Tai Chi. You know, and that's that practice of that relaxed, energized state. You know, that song that we're talking about.
You said string of pearls, drop,
Yes.
is that the same kind of?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. So basically, when we do string of pearls, we're just saying keep the song, but everything above that point is going to release in a new vertical relationship.
Makes it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always just think of it like a plumb bob. You know, it's just this
That does make it.
weight without sentience that's just always going to sink down, and then a lot of things then can relate to that. You know, so. I was studying channel buoys a couple weeks ago, and like seeing how they're designed, and I have this idea that I'm going to teach about. So by describing the buoys,
Weight on the bottom.
yeah, it's really like a spar buoy does that. You know, it's really like an interesting notion to me. You know, it's just like the Wei Lu in Chinese. Yeah, and then that allows other things to do. Like if you watch William Chen push hands, you'll see. You know, there's this weight down there, and it's not him pushing or reaching, it's just releasing, and then that allows flexibility everywhere else.
Okay, in nature too, with the tree, it's
Yeah.
so rooted in,
Mhm.
it can only go so far.
Right, and it's not actively hanging on, it's reaching.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The tree doesn't stop reaching and it's growing because there's wind and squeeze. It just keeps reaching.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're pushing me, I don't want to start to tighten. I want to just reach. And the method of reaching vertically is release. You know, vertically down, I guess I should say. And then one of the first problems I get with that besides I want to be competitive, so that doesn't really work. So another first problem or early problem as he pushes is the things in the way of where the tension is and where it wants to go, such as tightness or kinking in the hose and so on and so forth. And so then a lot of my work, some of it's moving, some of it's massage, and that kind of is like, how do I allow a path for that? Right? Just want to allow a path for that because it wants to go down. Then later the challenge is, can I remember that in the face of a challenge? You know, and that's a tough one. You know, can I remember, release, relax, let go when I'm in trouble, or you're coming at me, or you got me 4 times in a row, and that's a hard thing to do.
How about shifting to the other side? Why don't you shift?
Well, in this, we're not, you know, so that's not what this extra is, but you certainly could. So when he pushes, now what I want to do is stay on that leg without the relatively easy shifting. And what I'm doing to make this easier is doing this with my rear leg. As he's pushing on this side, my left side being my left rear leg, it's harder for me to shift to the right than if I had this. Then as he pushes, I could shift to my right as I turn. So that's why we have this set up. So as he pushes, I want to stay here the way we've done, and then I want to allow that to turn. And Josh should just feel the vector change, the source of his power and where the power is distributed or delivered is a different path. And you probably chose a fairly efficient path because you began to do the push. I didn't really tell you how, I just push. And so as this changes, and I'm consciously rotating as if to say, push a little bit for me, like, what was that in? Like I'm just my mind is just like, what's that? I'm just turning like this, okay? So that's the second stage, right? Feel that, right? So the first one, just to recap, do it from here, because I think we weren't really recording the whole time. Switch just to me, is he's pushing on my right side, which is my right leg, which is my rear leg, and I start on my rear leg, and I just receive without roostering, without collapsing, stepping, leaning, without tensing. I receive this by having my foot in place, my knee in place, and feeling the experience in the inguinal crease as he pushes. I just want to see what this structure receives. And once I start to go to my heel, you know, I'm probably going to start failing in a whole lot of other ways, right? And that was just too much for me, or I wasn't ready, or both. So I want to make sure that my partner can help me do this well. I'm not supposed to be able to handle a unlimited amount of energy here, but I just want to feel, can I feel this energy passing through me into the earth without my sort of redirecting it or fighting against it. I just want to give it a path. So it's just like an overflowing water, so you want to give them a path so they don't, drown you. Okay? So that's step one. And then step two is, once I've done step one, I'm just purposely feeling this axis and turning all at once. Notice the turn is not this. With that pressure, I'm just turning, and you should experience a change in what your output is or how efficient that is. It doesn't, probably start to feel like you don't want to keep pushing, you want to try another move.
Pushing this
Yeah,
side
just a
around.
different move. Right. It goes from a jab to a hook, your sort of experience of power, Okay, so try that.
If you guys are able to hear this, let us know. Or if it's, hey Bulldog, good to see you, my brother. Much love. Got the mats out for you, Bob. Appreciate hearing if we're too far from the camera, too close to the camera, too echoey, anything along those lines. And it looks like Colin's on. Colin, I love the poetry. Thanks, brother. It's all for sale. Hey, Fadi. All right, my brother. Hey, Michael. Good morning. I'm taping this, Colin, too, on a different device. So depending on how this is going, since I can't see your class, Colin Lieberman is doing a push hands work group in Ithaca, New York. We're trying to live stream back and forth, but maybe this is working.
Yeah. So the first.
Hi, Mimi.
You see your foot.
Real nervous. I got Randy Aaliyah watching. I feel like I should do some Guangping push hands. Colin is able to see. We're just not having a back and forth.
Keep it going as you thought about
So just turn on the top.
Oh,
I'm not towards you.
yeah, so you don't want to do this.
Yeah, no, I was trying to
Your
look.
eyes going over here.
I misinterpreted. I thought you wanted to know it on you. Okay.
No, you want to say hi to me.
I want to keep pushing. I gotta go like that. It feels awkward.
No, off balance. If I keep pushing,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. Does he turn toward me first? Do the sink first?
Sink first, so.
He's turning before you turn before you sink.
Maybe.
Push it. Let me push you first. Now you have to. Doesn't he have to turn toward me first?
It's the cell.
So I'm not. I'm gonna go off.
I feel like once that contact comes in, I feel like I'm settling because I don't want to wait too long to be off balance.
Let's try it slowly. That's rooster. You feel the breast come out. Bring 1 foot forward a little more. So that's you guessing when I'm pushing. I wasn't really pushing. Just receive it in the left leg, knee, hip, foot. No, I want to feel you receive it first without the turn. So you shift to that leg if you're not already shifted. Just receive it in the leg, the hip. Once you have that, then just turning like as if towards the live stream. It's like what's going on over there. Yep, and I'm losing my purchase. Right. In a push hand situation, I might quickly change that, like that's not working, try to get move, but that's not what we're doing here. Everybody kind of get it? Try it one more time each, and then we'll add another thing. Hi Ethan, hi Mimi.
I could be turning before I'm pushing.
So as with all these things in a partner thing, the person pushing or offering to the person who's working on a thing should also be working on things. Right? So this is an important concept because if you don't do that, your studies cost you twice as much because you're only getting half the class.
It's like if you're practicing parry and jab. The jabber practices the jab.
Had better, right? Absolutely, yeah. Right now you're roostering because you're kind of up in the chest, right? So let me borrow you here. So a common challenge to this, if you're going to do it to me, as you just that first part, you're pushing. Okay, obviously I messed that up. Try again. Okay, I'm messing that up. Try it again. Okay, I just kind of received by extending the back instead. So we try again, and I kind of fighting and floating, and we try it again. I sort of lean. Okay, so basically it's not working. I'm not getting this. So this is the action point here, and you're quite far. It's a lever arm. So for people that are really challenged at this, we would just start lower, so you're more on the center.
Yeah, but if I keep fighting,
And then I can try and work on those things.
I'm at some point.
And all the same exercises. So for example,
Because I could be able to feel it. And it's interesting.
if the exercise is for you to push this, yeah, that's not right. Or again, that's not right. When you push here, it's a whole lot more likely that this moves or doesn't move depending on how it's supposed to. And so we just go to the hip rather than, the belly or the chest or the shoulder, so it's nice to know how to adjust that. Because what you're doing always is you're seeking what's the point at which people are going to get this idea. If I can find that as their partner, then I can be with them and then, help to lift them. If I just, I know Jeff, okay, knock me out. I am not really learning the thing we're supposed to learn. So you have to figure out where, and in that case, I couldn't, for whatever reason, understand it. The metaphor is bad. I'm not very aware of my body, whatever it is. All right, how about here? And that usually works really well. Okay, so the next one is for him to push me to receive and turn, and then connect to him so that as I turn, I'm challenging him. He may not always step, right? So I'm receiving and then allowing it to turn along that received, centered, planted, we may say, line. Then I'm connecting to him, energizing my arm from my heel to my palm, or my sole of my foot to the sole of the palm. And then as he continues to push, I'm trying to deliver his push to him through this turn. So now we have this as an axle. And if that axle is coming out, the wheels don't really do what they're supposed to do. One foot's in the mud, one's in the air, or whatever, or the axle's bent, right? You can't have part of the axle turn and then the other part. That's not how it works. So this is not here. It's all of this turning, and then this is the other wheel. We could say the other, or the bucket on the water wheel or something like that. So this has to be structural to do anything. If this wheel turns and the axle is fine, but the other wheel's flat, it didn't do anything. Or if the other bucket on the water wheel has a hole in it or something like that. So this is find the lower body as he pushes, find that path for his energy to find the earth, plucked up here, then allowing it to turn or causing a turn for myself on that axis, connecting to him, energizing my palm to sole, so that as I turn, it's delivering as well as I can, as efficiently as I can, his energy to him. It's not entirely true in terms of physics, but that's what I'm trying to do, at least in my mind as a metaphor.
He looks like he's overcommitting a lot and he's pushed too.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't he be?
Yeah, he should just be pushing instead of here, as per what we were just saying a minute ago. Okay, so try that. This is usually much more thinking and deliberate. It's not just wow, because there's a lot of subtleties in here to get.
With weight on this side, you've already lost all your rotation. So the rotation is what's going to give you this back. So if you're already all here, all you're going to have is arm.
So this looks to me like a lordotic here, but also this is turning more than this. Your shoulder girdle and your hips.
Where's the elbow supposed to be? Close in or?
Which elbow?
His elbow.
Yeah, that's fine. However he wants to transfer that part, like you can design a wheel or a water wheel bucket a lot of different ways. If he's happy with that, that's fine. Yeah, he can certainly go change it to this or to a whole bunch of different things.
That's amazing. That is amazing technology. The little pop-up said, "Do you want to tag Edward Hughes on this video?" I could already recognize he's in the video.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Colin said that?
No, the computer said it. That's pretty amazing.
I'm not feeling it, I like it.
Hi, Angelo. Hello, Tracy. Hey, Emily.
Didn't feel like it. I don't think you made a contact with it.
Quick commercial break. This video has been brought to you by Centerline in Ithaca, New York, and also brought to you by Body Heals Itself by Emily Francis. In stores now.
When I get that tension out, and it's so much different. It's like almost like very little tiny effort there.
Again, came up with something about raising the hand when you raise it.
You start to feel that,
Yeah,
you start to
yeah.
go off a little, right?
It's not coordinated. When it's coordinated, I feel it.
If you heard at the end, I
Yeah,
think you were getting it.
I came up a tiny bit at the end.
I would also feel like this started to push before you let your hips drive it. Like it seemed like everything's going on. If it's too much to do, you can also just start with this here, so it's not a big change when you get there. You're not really going to do much for a while, or even if it's floating off him when he starts. Feel in the lower body.
I did hand, then not hip.
Right there when you started thinking push, you sort of came up and also out with the chest.
Why do
Like
I?
you got excited, basically.
Should be like
What's
almost
the
a
alternative?
mirror, I think.
Like, why do I revert to that?
Because you're thinking you need power for something, and that's
Power.
where you're used to doing power. So it's not a power thing, it's just a little drill. It's like we're massaging each other or something. It's not a fighting thing, it's not a saving your life thing.
So
Can you transfer this energy? Just let the turning of that axis energize
You
you.
were rotating, like you were saying, like it's all corresponding together.
Okay, so let me show you guys a quick test here that can become helpful. Yeah, it looks like we're still on. We're sort of on there. Maybe like this would be okay. So, switch for me, please. Thank you, sir. So we'll just do the first part where you're just receiving in the leg. So you clearly weren't just receiving in the leg, you were countering somehow, right? Which is really hard to do, even sort of psychologically. But a simple little test there is you develop a little bit of pressure and then release it. And when you get better at that, I'll do that in push hands just with a slight release. Like I go from 100% to 97%, and I can feel the change in their body. I don't have to do this thing, this grand thing where your partner does this, right? So you feel that on me, please? Yeah, just like that. Yeah, perfect. Good. Feel how I came back. So that's me. Yeah, I don't have it this time. That's why I wasn't ready or something. So feel me pushing back. Right. So that okay. So that's not really going to help me learn the exercise. But also in push hands, that could be a fun thing for you to do to somebody. What you want to feel is that when you're pushing, I'm just settled here. I'm not fighting you. So if you release, I'm just here. Right.
I'm not here.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Yeah.
same thing is.
And so that's a nice test. You know, I've seen people overdo the test and then you're just annoying the person. You're not really developing a skill. You're just proving they don't have it. But yeah, we're in a school. We're supposed to be working on stuff we don't have.
Right.
You know, so I would like to advise people not to just, no, you still don't have, you said, like, and just annoy them, but occasionally just notice that, you know, and it doesn't have to be completely off or where they do this. You can feel it in a more subtle way. But I'll do that if I use push hands with you. I'll push a lot where I'll, like that, like I'm pushing and I'm feeling you resist. Like that. That was you popping up. Right. And it was just you receiving in a thunderhead way, like high pressure meeting high pressure. Right? And the Taoist flow method, which it sounds like I have a TM at the end, is to
Low pressure means high pressure. What my testosterone-addled brain wants to do, you think that's high pressure, I'll show you like high. And then of course if you're smart, right, then you can do something about that. Because what I'm not doing in push hands, or in Taoism, or in Tai Chi, is fighting you. I'm never fighting you. Even in a fight, I'm not fighting you. I'm recognizing this is high pressure, and I'm offering order to the universe. And low pressure balances that. That's high pressure. You know what you need, buddy? Some low, or you know what we need? You know what this needs? Just some low pressure. And then your high pressure runs out. So if your high pressure is coming and I loosen the ropes, you don't move my boat because my sail's not taut. You know, it just blows right by. And it becomes this thing that's not really a thing now. Right? Especially because at some point you can't keep pushing. You have to change. And then for fun, if he feels that that's not going anywhere, at some point he withdraws to try something else. When he does that low pressure, I can add some high pressure that you're not mated with. And I can, you know, basically as you withdraw, I can chase, but on a different vector or target, and that's kind of fun too. Yeah, I'll just see if Colin has a question, but I think then we'll wind it up. I don't know why it says need a remote. Hey, Mike. I like that. All right, so let's just push hands for a minute, because I don't want to take up all the time into doing the thing. I'll just push you first. If one of us feels stuck, just interrupt and then ask anybody watching. Let me see if we can solve the stuck.
That's right.
I know, I saw that. I was really like deja vuing, like, we went over that in class yesterday. I said, well, I think I know how this turns out. Oh no. Yeah, good. Yeah, nice.
That have fallen under the cow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was really like an on in a cow sort of weapon, I guess. Yeah. As I led him down and then up like that. Ah! That sounds good.
The high pressure, low pressure thing really made sense to me. As I was watching you guys, you could see
Yeah.
how it was.
If you've ever seen, I do a longer explication of that in my teapot striking video. If you've ever seen that? That was up at John Franklin School. I taught that on video. But we could maybe go over it some Wednesday a little bit, a little intro. But
I think that's like one of the hardest things is just relaxing.
Mhm.
Relax the legs.
well, I mean, you are relaxing. You're on the path, you know, because you weren't up here relaxed when we started. You know what I mean? But can you show us the first move of Tai Chi? Just the very how we start. Just to let Josh watch. What's the first thing he does, Josh? That's down into the earth. Can you do the first move of Tai Chi? Just the very first. No. Yeah. Everything. That's the first practice. Okay, thank you for tuning in. This is Mark Claphead, Rick UT, and who's back there? Josh Cruz.
Next commercial break. Please support our efforts. Buy one of these to hear things. Bye bye. Thanks. All right.